After studying this module, we shall be able to know the meaning and nature of international marketing, understand why international marketing is imperative, identify the specific stages of evolution of international marketing and the orientation of the international marketer towards global business, learn about the strategic decisions in international marketing.
International marketing as a subject is a very significant, specialized and useful body of knowledge for a learner that comprises of the solutions and strategies to all such challenges and tasks that are expected to arise in a market beyond the domestic boundaries of a nation. It is interesting to note that despite incorporating the basic tenets of marketing, the study of this branch of marketing introduced many such aspects that have hitherto not been relevant to the domestic marketer. According to AMA, that is American Marketing Association, international marketing is the multinational process of planning and executing the conception, pricing, promotion, and the distribution of ideas, goods, and services to create exchanges that satisfy individual and organization objectives. A close observation of the above definition brings into fore the key characteristics for a better understanding of this subject. The only difference between the definitions given by AMA of domestic marketing and international marketing is the addition of the word multinational. This apparent minor difference throws upon to the need of studying the whole gamut of this subject. The need, the challenges, the tasks, and the strategies and the marketing programs in the cross-border markets. Yet, international marketing very much retains the basic marketing concept of transaction and exchange, 4 P's, satisfaction, market orientation, application of the marketing concept to not only tangible products but also to people, place, ideas, services, etc. It is not proper to regard the international function of the marketer as simply to export or distributing across borders. That is, to focus over the physical distribution function of the marketing program. Place or distribution is just part of the marketing mix. Distance between the markets neither make it more or nor less important than other components of the marketing mix. The marketing concept, principles and the processes are universally applicable across globe. Yet, the environment within which they are to be applied varies from country to country and the region to region. The international marketer is subject to new and multiple set of environmental factors. Therefore, international marketing process is not merely a repetition of using identical strategies abroad. The 4 P's of the marketing must be integrated and coordinated across national or regional markets. International marketing is a specialized branch of marketing that is in particular useful to those marketers who understand the convergence and divergence of needs across the globe due to various factors, including internet and IT revolutions. Therefore, the marketers operating in international trade treat the whole world as their market space. Besides, marketers located at some part of the world endowed with specific resources and skills also tend to gain by the principle of comparative advantage by indulging themselves meeting the needs of unsaturated markets at the global level. The principles of international marketing guide in meeting the challenges of international markets and be strategically correct in beating the competition and threats from the local markets.
In this module, we shall concentrate on international marketing. As a subject, it is a very significant, specialized, and useful body of knowledge for a learner that comprises of the solutions and strategies to all such challenges and tasks that are expected to arise in a market beyond the domestic boundaries of a nation. According to the American Marketing Association, international marketing is the multinational process of planning and executing the conception, pricing, promotion, and distribution of ideas, goods, and services to create exchanges that satisfy individual and organizational objectives. For better understanding, we will study the key characteristics of international marketing. International marketing retains the basic marketing concepts of transaction and exchange, 4 Ps: satisfaction, marketing orientation, application of the marketing concept to not only tangible products but also to the place, people, idea, services, etc. International function of the marketer is not simply to export or distribute across borders. Place or distribution is just a part of the marketing mix. Distance between the markets neither makes it more nor less important than other components of the marketing mix. The international marketer is subject to new and multiple sets of environmental factors. Therefore, international marketing process is not merely a repetition of using identical strategies abroad. The 4 Ps of marketing must be integrated and coordinated across national or regional markets. The marketers operating in international trade treat the whole world as their market space. The principles of international marketing guide in meeting the challenges of international markets and be strategically correct in beating the competition and threats from the local markets. Now let us discuss why international marketing is imperative. Let us discuss the reasons one by one. Global linkages. The world trade has given rise to global linkages of markets, technologies, human resources, as well as living standards. Union in European nations, NAFTA in North America, ASEAN in Asia are a few examples of global linkages. These linkages bind the countries, the institutions, as well as the individuals together and create bilateral dependencies. Such situations have led the marketers to have global orientation and take up business activities with new horizons. Production in one country and assembly and distribution in different countries to achieve effectiveness and efficiency in business and marketing operations has been conceived only during the era of global linkages. Domestic and international policy repercussions. Domestic market economies no more remain isolated from the international market events. The domestic market policies, such as interest rates, economic regulations over pricing, imports and exports, agriculture and farm policies, industrial regulations, etc., are all constantly reviewed and adapted in the light of its international implications. This has made the country's policy framework more volatile and less controllable. To counteract that, there is a need to be more active in the international market. Saturation of domestic markets. The marketer operating in the local economy may like to venture out at the saturation of the local market demand. The imbalances of the economic and population growth, the geographical distances of the regions, and the rate of technological advances and innovations create a demand and supply imbalance. This gap is intelligently sensed and filled by the international marketer.
The next reason is global competition. Competition is defined in marketing at different levels. It can be in between brands or at the level of industry or in the different forms of product or service or at the level of generic need of the customer. Over the years, a major shift in the view of competition has occurred around the globe. With the internet revolution and distances becoming shorter, the competition has no more remained in a domestic domain. Globalization and liberalization of economies, fall of communism, increasing dominance of market economies at the international realm all have led to the view of competition by a marketer in its broadest sense, that is, at the global level.
Global competition. Competition is defined in marketing at different levels. Over the years, a major shift in the view of competition has occurred around the globe. With the internet revolution and distances becoming shorter, the competition has no more remained in a domestic domain. globalization and liberalization of economies, the fall of communism, increasing dominance of market economies at the international realm have all led to the view of the competition by a marketer in its broadest sense, that is, at the global level. Need for global cooperation. Global competition and global cooperation are two sides of the same coin. The multinational mergers, tie ups, joint ventures, and alliances are all forms of cooperation at the global level in order to gain strategic advantage of size or skill or efficiencies in order to beat the competition at the global level. International marketing is an intrinsic part of this scenario.
And the last reason is information technology and internet revolution. It is often stated that the world has become one small marketplace. The key reason behind this phenomena is the revolution of the information technology and the internet. There have been profound changes in the way marketing programs were made and implemented earlier, all because of the proliferation of the internet and advent of e-commerce and e-marketing. E-commerce is growing at an unprecedented rate. As compared to B2C e-commerce, B2B e-commerce is becoming larger in size and growth rate. The two-way dialogue between the producer and the consumer is easier, leading to open up the scope of customized goods. The distribution and logistical management has been at the unprecedented efficiency level. The increasing trade relations, information sharing, and exchanges between nations have also streamlined pricing and payment between nations. All these have been the result of the revolution in the IT and internet sphere that has paved the way for international marketing.
Information technology and internet revolution. There have been profound changes from the way marketing programs were made and implemented earlier, all because of the proliferation of the internet and the advent of e commerce and e marketing, which is growing at an unprecedented rate. As compared to B2C e commerce, B2B e commerce is becoming larger in size and growth rate. The two-way dialogue between the producer and the consumer is easier, leading to opening up the scope for customized goods. The increasing trade relations, information sharing, and exchanges between nations have also streamlined pricing and payment between nations. All these have been the result of the revolution in the IT and internet sphere that has paved the way for international marketing. Evolution of international marketing. Domestic marketing. Domestic marketing is the formulation and implementation of marketing practices within a marketer's home country. The marketing strategy is based on information about domestic consumers' needs and preferences, industry trends, and domestic political, legal, technological, and economical environment, that is, the external environment of the home country. The domestic marketer faces competition both from the domestic as well as the international competitor. The marketer in this case tends to be ethnocentric, as his target market is the domestic market and he need not be sensitive about the foreign market needs. Export marketing. It is the first stage of internationalization of business, wherein the marketer starts getting unsolicited orders from foreign customers. The international business evolves from indirect exporting in the form of movement of goods to foreign lands through traders or agents, to ad hoc exporting of the surplus goods, to explicit and regular direct exporting in the form of the marketer taking up specific export related tasks. The orientation of the marketer is ethnocentric, as he is more focused over the satisfaction of the domestic market needs and is not bringing any change in the marketing program for goods meant for overseas markets, as these goods form a minor percentage of the total output in terms of value or volume. International marketing. Once export marketing becomes an integral part of the organization's marketing activity, it seeks new dimensions of growth and expansion. This stage is called international marketing. Polycentric orientation is the orientation of the marketer at this stage. That is, the organization's predisposition to the existence of significant local and cultural differences across markets, thus viewing each country as an independent market. Extreme international marketing may take the form of establishing foreign subsidiaries in each foreign market and have each subsidiary operate independently without any control of the headquarter. This is also called multi-domestic marketing, multinational marketing. It is that stage of evolution where the multiplication of efforts leads to the realization of the benefits of economies of scale in product development, manufacturing, and marketing due to the consolidation of regions, and the organization tries to consolidate some of its activities on regional basis. The approach of the marketer becomes region centric. The culmination of cultures or politics or economies can all be reasonable grounds of integration of the marketing program on regional basis. Global marketing. Global marketing, with an emphasis over standardization of efforts, is the call for the marketer in this scenario. Global marketing does not necessarily mean complete worldwide standardization. It views the organization's proactive willingness to adopt a global perspective in marketing strategy instead of a regional or country specific perspective. Market segmentation decisions and patterns are not focused over the national or regional borders. Instead, they are observed and defined by income and economic factors or usage behavior or other psychological factors spanning across countries and regions. For a global company, the national boundaries are blurred except for the fact of its incorporation in a particular country.
Deciding whether to go abroad. Unless and otherwise the domestic market situations warrant a threat or a challenge in the form of saturation or change in the taste and preferences or certain political legal threats, or the opportunities from the overseas markets are overwhelming, the domestic marketer would not like to move out of the known and safe environment of the domestic business. These factors in the form of opportunities and risks they have been discussed as follows. Opportunities and advantages. 1. High profit volume and profit margins. Risk division across markets and lesser dependence on one market. 3. Larger customer base to make economies of scale viable. 4. Divergence and convergence of customer needs. 5. Counterattacks the global competition. Risk and challenges. 1. The diversity of foreign environment in terms of socioculture, economic, legal, political, and geographical differences that may make the product unattractive. 2. Trade and non-trade barriers put up by the countries. 3. Lack of needed skill, resources, and human resource with experience. 4. Unestimated or underestimated regulations, law, and restrictions. A careful and cautious study of the threats and opportunities as well as the strengths and the weakness of the company can help a marketer to take the decisions of entering the overseas market. A company may decide to start with the approach of entering the foreign market through indirect exports to progressively take up the task with dedicated allocation of resources in the form of setting up of production facilities.
Now let us move on to strategic decisions to be taken in international marketing. A careful and cautious study of the threats and opportunities, as well as the strengths and weaknesses of the company, can help a marketer to take the decision of entering the overseas market. The opportunities and advantages are high profit volume and or profit margins, risk division across markets and lesser dependence on one market, larger customer base to make economies of scale viable, divergence and convergence of customer needs counterattacks the global competition. The risks and challenges in the case of international marketing are the diversity of foreign environment in terms of socio-cultural, economic, legal, political, and geographical differences that may make the product unattractive, trade and non-trade barriers put up by countries, lack of needed skills, resources, and human resource with experience, unestimated or underestimated regulations, laws, and restrictions. The second strategic decision is deciding which markets to enter, how many markets to enter. There are two approaches to enter countries one on one basis, called the waterfall approach, or entering many countries simultaneously, called the sprinkler approach. The decision of the company depends on the risk evasiveness of management, the available financial and human resources, the linkages, the nature of the product and service, and the degree to which the first mover advantage is significant. Which type of market to enter? The two markets, developing and developed, and the demand pattern vary significantly in terms of volume of demand, the per capita spending, the nature of goods demanded, the consumption patterns, and the availability of the promotion and distribution infrastructure. Accordingly, the marketing program of the marketer is to be put in place. Evaluation of the potential market. A strategic market analysis in terms of cost benefit, political stability, cultural similarities and dissimilarities, the government's commitment, competitive advantage, the state of financial and IT infrastructure, and the availability of the key human resources can be a few of the important considerations in the evaluation of the potential market.
Evaluation of the potential market. Each of the potential market in the subset of the developing or the developed nation is unique in terms of its marketing environment. The socio-culture, the political and legal, the economic and geographical environment of each market varies significantly across different nations and markets. A strategic market analysis in terms of cost benefit, political stability, cultural similarities and dissimilarities, government's commitment, competitive advantage, the state of financial and IT infrastructure, and the availability of the key human resource can be a few of the important consideration in this kind of evaluation. Further, a number of consulting organizations, the reports of the banks and financial institutions, the reports of the trade associations and statistical surveys organizations can be of great help in this regard.
The next decision is regarding how to enter the market. Indirect exports. Indirect exports take place in the form of selling of goods through independent intermediaries. Usually, indirect export is on ad hoc basis for surplus output. A very low risk and less investment of organizations' time, money, and resources are the key advantages. Direct exporting. On the realization of the potential returns through the exports, the company may decide to take up the exports in its own name through setting up of its own export division or department with dedicated staff, or open overseas subsidiary or branch, or appoint foreign distributors or agents with exclusive rights to represent the company in the overseas markets. Licensing. The licensor issues a license, a permission, to a foreign company to use its manufacturing processes, patents, technology, trademarks, and any other asset of value against the payment of fee called royalty. In return of the fee, the licensee gets the advantage of the licensor's goodwill and brand name along with the expertise over time. Joint ventures. Joint venture represents the joint ownership over the resources along with the risks and returns, But in international marketing, it often takes place to take advantage of the partner's political linkages or technological advantage in the foreign market beyond the usual reasons. Direct investment. The highest level of involvement in the international marketing programs is in the form of direct investments in foreign assembly or manufacturing facilities, merger and acquisition, turnkey projects, and strategic alliances. The company is exposed to higher risks of economic and political threats and instabilities. So, a decision in favor of the direct investment is to be taken up with all the necessary insurance and assurances. Another important decision regarding international marketing is deciding the marketing program. The various decisions are the product decisions. One of the major decisions is in respect of deciding the extent of product adaptation and or standardization. Adaptation requires alterations in the featuring of products to meet local taste and usage conditions, whereas the standardization means extending the product line as it is in the foreign market, irrespective of the local conditions. Product invention in the form of creation of regional versions or backward or forward inventions is also a challenge. The promotion decisions. Depending upon the product usage, conditions, and need felt by the consumer, the options available are one product, one message worldwide, product adaptation, communication extension, product extension, communication adaptation, product invention. Lack and diversity of promotional infrastructure and regulations in different nations is another challenge.
The product decisions. Beyond the regular product decisions of product featuring, product line, brand name, and positioning, packaging, etc., the internationalization of the marketing program adds many more product related decisions. One of the major decisions is in respect of deciding the extent of product adaptation and standardization. Adaptation requires alterations in the featuring of product to meet local taste and usage conditions, whereas the standardization means extending the product line as it is in the foreign market irrespective of the local conditions. Both adaptation and standardization have their pros and cons. Adding further to adaptation, product invention is in the form of creation of regional versions or backward or forward inventions is also a challenge. The international product life cycle is another issue, wherein the diffusion of innovation of a product or product features takes place in different time intervals in terms of its recognition and commercialization in different nations. The implication for the international marketer being that the program meant for the introduction stage of the product life cycle in one market is not valid for the growth or the maturity stage in some other nation.
The physical distribution decisions. The movement of the goods in international marketing can take place through many short and long channels of distribution constituted by both domestic and foreign based merchants, agents, distributors, management companies, and specific agencies. The decision in favor of a direct or indirect channel and its type depends on many factors like the financial considerations, the control, convenience, country regulations, and middlemen services. The pricing decisions. Pricing calls for added decisions in respect of transfer pricing or intra-firm pricing of goods and service transfers, gray marketing, price escalation of transportation costs, tariffs, profit margins, along with currency fluctuation risks and dumping charges. The next aspect is deciding on the market organization. The various considerations are export department. The company may set up a dedicated export department to take care and be answerable for the total exports and export related activities. International division. As the volumes, percentage, and dedication of the company grows towards international marketing, It may have an international division headed by the division's president and the corporate staff with set goals and budgets of international operations. These are often recognized in the form of international subsidiaries or geographically identified business units. Global organization. An organization with top corporate management and staff plans worldwide manufacturing units, financial flows, marketing programs, and logistical distribution is a global organization. Such organizations do not have international divisions but worldwide command and reporting system. Now let us summarize what we have learned in this module. Meaning of international marketing, characteristics of international marketing, why international marketing is imperative, the evolution of international marketing, and strategic decisions in international marketing.
Let us now recapitulate what we have learned in this module. 1. International marketing is the extension of the principles of the marketing with added concepts and theories applicable in the international context. 2. As the distances have shortened and the economies have opened up, it has become very important for a domestic marketer to extend his business beyond the geographical boundaries of his country for several reasons. 3. A marketer evolves through many stages of internationalization while extending his business in the global scenario, starting from the narrowest orientation of ethnocentrism to being a global marketer with a geocentric orientation. Fourth, a number of strategic decisions are to be taken up by the marketer as he plans to go international. These pertain to whether to go international, which countries to enter, how to enter, and also regarding the marketing program and organization.